in terms of helping the industry implement electrification initiatives?
This is certainly something we are considering. We have been receiving very strong feedback from the industry that there needs to be a lead demand to drive the adoption of the electric hovercraft. Because we know that for first few vessels, the cost is going to be very high, but as the production scale up, then the cost will come down to a more affordable level. And there needs to be some support to be able to bridge the gap. So I think currently, notwithstanding there's no support, it doesn't mean that there's no commercial case for electric vessels. We see a lot of innovation in the sector, like Pixies, they're trying out all the using digitalization to offer greater value-add services. So actually, many of, and even like for the lighters, we are trying out new concepts such as by consolidating orders rather than doing a point-to-point delivery. So actually, using this kind of innovation, there is already a very strong commercial case for electrification. But of course, I do recognize that in order to scale up, the support is still very helpful. But we want to do it in a more targeted manner, not like a mass adoption grant or where we give out grant idea, but really we are thinking of how do we give it a more targeted manner to create that lead demand. And so on this, I will welcome feedback. If you have any interest, feel free to reach out to me or my team, and we will be happy to hear your views to see how we can tailor a better support for this sector. The education effort is currently focused on the launchers and the lighters because these are the lower-hanging fruits before we move on to things like the e-tugs. And for launchers and lighters, they operate out of hub. So we know that the launchers, they operate out of MSP and Marina South Pier, and then in the future WCP, West Coast Pier. And for the lighters, the operations are concentrated at Jurong Port. Eventually, you'll be all concentrated there. So we do see that these hubs are the most important charging bases for all the vessels. But of course, we also do recognize that sometimes to provide more options, it's always good to address the range anxiety. So if let's say there are opportunities for some deployments or to scatter some charging points all around, I think that would be helpful to address some of the range anxiety and also to provide more flexibility in planning your ops. Like you don't have to always charge at a hub, but you have some other options, so you have more flexibility. So from that perspective, offshore solar installation is attractive. But my question is also, if let's say, actually there's one opportunity right now, we at Los Tumu, Raffles Lighthouse, that's where we are going to deploy some solar panels, and we are also hoping to set up a charger there. But the question is, even it's so far out, even if we deploy a charger, will there be a demand for it? Is there any vessels that are going to travel all the way there to go and charge? I mean, because if you look at the waters, the port of Singapore is very congested. There are most of the spaces are quite encourages, so you don't expect that those very near to shore will have space for meaningful amount of solar deployment. So I think therein lies the constraint. But of course, we welcome feedback. If let's say the feedback from the industry that yes, there is a use case. They can plan the operations so that you go all the way to some of the further corners of our port to go and charge. And there's opportunity for us to deploy, and of course that's something that we're happy to work with the industry to see whether we can make it happen.